Dear destiny of a Black woman,
you are strong. You are the source of power. Without you, there is no Black community. I know how hard it is for you. The most unprotected person in the US is the Black woman. But still, you persevere. You build empire with no help of funding from any financial institution. But you must still push ahead. Look at those who came before you. Madam C.J. Walker did it to show you what you can be. So go on and build your businesses. Don't wait for the world. Let it catch up to you. Keep doing your thing. Do not stand still. Build that empire. Show those that are coming behind you. Show me, show the world.
Wow. What did she say? Show me or show the world? Well, there is an extensive bio on this young lady, on this beautiful sister that has such great potential, that had a dream, a Newark girl who grew up saying that I can have more than just a job, more than just a career, more than listening to what people tell me to do. I can help some people, give them some jobs, create my own opportunity and opportunities for others. We are grateful, we are honored, and we are thankful that Adina Bayo is one of our sisters who is also shaking and moving. She is also a boss. The women before her reminded us that there's a higher power that makes it possible. So we're thankful, Adina, that higher power made it possible for you to be positioned and to persevere and to have all of the possibilities that are available to us as women, and become an entrepreneur, become a business owner, become a leader in our city, to be a model for women to say, you know what, if that young sister can do that, I know I can. There's nothing that can get in my way if I persevere, no matter what I went through as a child, no matter what I've gone through as a female trying to push my way through a male society. Truth be told, the males only can push their way through because we behind them pushing them. It is now in your hands, Adina Bayo. Please.
Oh, thank you so much. That was beautiful, Rev. Thank you so much. That was just, that was amazing. Well, thanks, First Lady Linda, for having me. Thanks to all of my sisters for, I want to say, going through the struggle with me. I want to first start off by saying that it's an honor whenever I get into a room full of Black women. It's an honor, period, to be among Black women, but it's an honor to be among women that are from Newark. Being a girl from Newark, understanding what it has meant to come from this great city of Newark, I can only pay it forward. I can only pave the way for other women, other young girls that are coming behind me, showing them that we can be people that shape our communities, that we can be people that can influence policy about our communities, that we can create jobs for our communities, that we can affect change for our community. I think one of the most important things that if I don't say anything on this call today, one of the most important things that I want to talk about is advocacy. I want to talk about when you have achieved some level of success, never to forget your sisters, your communities, and people that may not see their own strength. Because after getting told so many times, you are nothing, you are not enough, or you're not good enough, you start to believe these things. You start to think, well, you know what? Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I'm not the right race. Maybe I'm not the right gender. Maybe I'm not from the right place. But one message I am going to really push out to everyone on this call is we are responsible to really work with other women and let them know that we are enough. Toni Morrison once said, if you want to understand the history of America, you have got to understand the Black woman's story in America, right? So for me, my message here today is for us to advocate. It's for us to really uplift our sisters and tell them you are enough. That no matter what you put your mind to, I'm a firm believer that the universe is going to conspire to uplift you. No matter what, no matter what obstacle that you may face today, tomorrow is going to be better. Because I'm a firm believer that the universe is always looking out for you. And so long that you keep that positive spirit, and what I mean by positive spirit is you can be successful by wishing other people not be successful. You got to be happy for everybody else, just like they're happy for you. And if you cannot be uplifting to another sister, just walk away. Because I'm the fundamental believer that the universe only serves you whatever you put out there. And I'll tell you guys a really quick story before I get off my rant. A long time ago, I embarked on this whole idea that I was going to try to effect change on the level that's bigger than me just owning some IHOPs. So I, for a very long time, was the only IHOP in the country that was selling soul food, right? So I get a call one day from IHOP corporate, and it said to me, you know what, Adina, we're getting a lot of complaints from the other franchisees. And they're saying that we're giving you an unfair advantage by letting you sell soul food. And they think because you sell soul food in your IHOP, that's the reason why your restaurants are doing better than theirs. That's why your margins are higher. So we're going to ask you to scale back on your soul food. We're going to ask you to not sell no oxtails, no candy yam, no collard greens. So, I was upset because I had gotten so comfortable in selling the soul food that we sell at the IHOP. I was just so comfortable doing that. I was angry. I contacted an attorney, and there was just nothing I could do. So one day, this customer came in. When I used to sell the soul food at IHOP, we used to have these corn cakes, and we would sell it as a bread whenever we would sell the soul food dinners. So she was an older lady, and she said to me, where's the cornbread? What's the corn muffin? I said, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. We can't sell it no more. And she was pissed. She was upset. She was like, how you gonna start selling this? I got my mind. I came here. It was a Sunday. And she was upset. And she was like, I want to speak to the owner. As a matter of fact, she was like, I want to speak to the manager. I was the manager on duty that day. So I went over there, and she was like, I'm going to let you know right now, I ain't coming back here. Y'all ain't got what I want. And she went off on me. So I said, I apologize. I said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. But there's just nothing I can do. So I left, and literally it was like almost like my eye was getting watery. And I came in my office and I wrote down the word cornbread. And just like that, I wrote down the word cornbread. I keep like a little vision board in my office. So I wrote down the word cornbread. And I said to myself, one day I'm going to open a restaurant called Cornbread. And she's going to be able to go in there and eat cornbread whenever the hell she want to eat cornbread. And I embarked on this journey of trying to open my own soul food restaurant called Cornbread, where I did not have to ask anybody permission to serve some banking ass soul food. Okay? So I wrote the name down, and I'm always very intentional. The pieces come together very slowly for me. Everybody that know how I kind of, anyone that know how I sort of start businesses, it's a slow process for me. So I knew I wanted to create soul food, but I just didn't want to create any kind of soul food restaurant. I wanted to create a soul food restaurant that would make IHOP jealous. I said to myself, oh, they're going to regret this. They're going to regret this. One thing I tell people all the time when people doubt me, I said, you must don't know my tenacity. How could you bet on against someone that will not quit, won't quit, right? And I wanted to build a restaurant for us, to put us on the map, to let people know that our food is important, to let people know that we as a people are important, right? So 3 years later, almost 4 years later, I put all the pieces together. I partner up with a good friend of mine, Ms. Zadie. She owns daycare, but her real passion is really cooking. And I had to remind her, your passion is cooking. And, you know, we started out, and 4 years later, we opened our very first cornbread in Maplewood. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think it was going to be successful. I was just driven to do something with excellence. I was driven to create something that I was going to be proud of, that someone was going to look at and say, wow, you did that. So whether it was going to be successful or not didn't really cross my mind. So we opened it, and the first weekend we opened, the lines were out the door. Maplewood police had to come to us and say, you guys are going to have to do something with the line. It's spreading onto the sidewalk, and the traffic is too bad on Springfield Avenue. And that was our first weekend. Almost, I want to say 6 years into it now, we've signed a partnership with Walmart. We opened 3 Walmart cornbread into Pittsburgh. We got a $5 million investment from New Voices Fund. The Rich Lou Dennis that owns Essence Magazine is an investor in cornbread. We are now working on our retail product. We're finalizing our partnership with Walmart and Target to put our cornbread batter, our fish batter, our chicken batters on the shelf. We are working on something that I think is going to be even more important, which is what I always sought out to do, was to empower other Black women. I'm going to franchise cornbread. And our focus is going to be, how do we make sure that when we do franchise cornbread, that the most important and most focused people that we sought after are Black women? Because I believe in the power of Black women. I believe that once given the resources and given the opportunities, we are a force to be reckoned with. And I don't want anyone on this call or whoever to ever think that we can be any less successful than anyone else. And if you really think about it, the stuff that we as Black women have had to endure in this country, we as Black women have had to go through in this country, we're not musicians. We shouldn't be allowed to be performing these black magic trick, black girl magic. You know, whenever I give these talks, someone once said to me, oh yeah, Adina, black girl magic. I love the term. I think it's catchy. I think it's great. But whenever I hear that, I feel like, wow, here's a sister that possibly had to do something unimaginable to be successful. We are always expected to be 10 times better than the average folks so we can get the same accolades, right? And the biggest gratification for cornbread came about recently. We had a ribbon cutting at IHOP on Broad Street. And you guys know there's an IHOP and there's a cornbread next to each other. So we had a couple of executives from IHOP corporate, vice president of IHOP was here. All of them was there. And when the ribbon cutting ceremony was over and everybody was done, they asked, can they go to cornbread and eat? They was like, oh no, we good. We don't want no IHOP. We want to go to cornbread. We want to eat. And for me, that for me was gratitude to the gods. That was gratification for all of my hard work and all of the shit y'all put me through. Excuse my language, lady. But secondly, to have IHOP now thinking about they wanting to invest in cornbread is even more gratifying. Because I'm not gonna fight with anyone anymore. I'm just gonna show you what we as Black women can do. Given the same opportunities and given the same platform, we can outperform and we can outdo anybody. You know, Toni Morrison once said that if the only way for you to be tall is for me to be on my knees, then you have a problem, right? And Black women have been on their knees way too long in America. I think it's time for us to really hone it into our powers and really collaborate with each other, help each other. I am the biggest advocate for anything Black women. If you have a problem, if you need me, call. I can give everybody on this phone, on this Zoom, my phone number. If you need it, just put in the chat. If it's an idea you have, if it's anything that you need, call me. And I'm not saying I have answers to everything, but 9 times out of 10, if I put my mind to something, I can figure it out. I am never, ever leaving Newark. I have plans for Newark. I have plans for women in Newark. Stay tuned, because I think we are going to show the world how women working together can really exemplify and build something. And I have a project idea in my mind right now that is baking, is working. Oh, I'm gonna say let's stay tuned, but it's gonna be amazing. I know I've said a lot, I've talked a lot. I wanted to know if we're doing any Q&A, anyone have any question. I don't know what the format is. Hi, Linda.
Hey, Adina, thank you so, can you guys hear me? Thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much, right? I thought that your story was one that we needed to hear today. A true Newark girl, right? Like, I remember you babysitting me. And that means that you're old, Adina, if you were babysitting me. but you are just an inspiration to us all, no matter what age we are, no matter where we are in life. You are just an inspiration to us all. So I want to thank you for giving us your time today, for sharing your story. Order from cornbread. I saw somebody put in the chat that they were Uber eating cornbread right now. Make sure we support that. The one in Newark too, right? Make sure we support it. We want more restaurants. We can't wait for Urban Vegan, girl. And this next idea that you got cooking up, I'm sure we're going to hear about it next year. So we probably need to bring you back again next year so you can tell us that story. You are amazing. And so you're right. I do want to open it up for questions. And so if anybody has questions, just drop it in the Q&A. If you want to ask Adina something, this is the time, right? We don't get to talk to this $1 million lady too often. And so I want to make sure that we get you any questions you guys may have. They're asking for your phone number, sis. They're asking
Linda, you got my number. Give the number.
I'm gonna put your number in the chat, but she, and honestly, she's being very honest with the group, right? In terms of if you need to bounce an idea off, if you need a mentor, she is so approachable and just a person to talk to. She's not one of these people who are afraid to share the sauce, right? She's gonna share the sauce with you and make sure that your project gets all the way through. And so I appreciate you for that, and I appreciate you for mentoring other women in the city, particularly. I see a question here. It says, how do you handle fear if ever you experience it?
Oh yeah, fear is all the time around me. It's around me. What I really do, and I really encourage, particularly Black women, I believe in self-care. I really do. Do not take yourself for granted. I am in a fast-paced environment. There's a high demand for my time. So I'm up every day, 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. And between 4 and 6:30, that's my time. I work out, I meditate, I answer email. I may send a text here and there, but I try not to do that. But I believe in intention. I think everything you do, if your intentions are really, really good, everything go back to your intention. If your intentions are good, you don't have to worry about fear. I always say, someone once said to me that fear is false evidence appearing to be real, right? I believe that if you have a great mind, you can make that mind work for you. Anything you want, your mind is going to give it to you. If you want to focus on fear, it's going to focus on that. If you want to focus on all of the positive things that are happening for you, it's going to do just that for you. You just got to imagine when you get in your car every day and you say, I got to go to work. It just gives you the direction to your job. If you get in a car and you say, I want to go home, you don't really have to do anything. It'll tell you. So if you tell your brain, I want to focus on the positive things in my life, it would do that for you.
Yeah, and one of the other questions we have in the chat is, how do you remain confident in adversity?
Pray. I think I honestly do things that I believe in a higher power. I believe nothing happened by mistake. Anything that's happening to you is happening for you. That's just God telling you that's not the direction he wants you to go. I'm a firm believer that my life is a miracle. I believe that where I sit today is not no accident. My life has been too good for me to, sit here and not see the miracles that are happening in my life. Too many people have helped me in my life. Too many people. Even growing up, going to Weequahic High School, going to Candy Middle, there was so many different programs that I ended up in because teachers put me in them. Like even how I ended up at Quest Youth Center, where I met Linda Huffin. It was my pastor, the youth lady at our church, Queen of Angel. She signed me up to be at the youth center after school every day from 4 to 6:30. until I started getting paid whenever my check would come, which was always late.
Always late at Quest, right?
Always late at Quest. But, you know, and I was a 13-year-old girl working at McDonald's in Irvington, right? I would walk Springfield Avenue back and forth. I live in Fairview Home next to the Prince Street Project. So I just believe in God. I think everything happened in our life for a reason. And you just got to believe that God got you. He got you.
Somebody said, shout out Queen of Angels.
Queen of Angel, that tore down that damn church. I was so upset. I was so mad.
One of the questions is, what advice will you give to a company that has been struggling for a couple of years to get started, but they have so many bumps in the road and not really a lot of resources at this time?
I'm sure all of you guys know when I first started, I have had all these 7 banks turn me down. Everyone kept saying no to me, no to me, no to me, no to me. One of the biggest advice I would say when I was so down and I was so depressed and I was so angry, like I was so upset, I kept writing every morning, don't give up, don't give up. Because just imagine 7 banks saying no to me. What if I would have quit at the 5th bank? What if I would have quit at the 6th bank? I would have never got to my 7th bank, right? The only advice I would say is knock on every door. Knock on every door. Ask your friends. If we don't share our problems and our pain, someone will hurt us and say, oh, I thought you like it. We got to be more vulnerable with each other. If you need help, ask for help. I believe in vulnerability. We got to be more vulnerable. We got to be able to say, I need help. Because if you don't, people don't know.
Yeah, I love that. I love that in terms of being vulnerable, being honest, and not being afraid to speak to someone about what you're going through, because that person may be able to help you, but we can't help you if we don't know that you're going through something. So I love that. And we have another question. What are some of the books you recommend that entrepreneurs read?
Oh my God, The Alchemist. And if you guys like, I could buy everybody a copy of The Alchemist.
Thank you. We love that.
Yes, Linda, just tell me how many copies everybody need. I will order everybody a copy of The Alchemist. And then the second book I want everybody to read is Seed of the Soul. Seed of the Soul. And again, Linda, if you want, I can order everybody a copy of it. And then the book that fundamentally changed, if anybody on here trying to get into real estate, start with reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay. So we have Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Seed of the Soul, and The Alchemist.
And The Alchemist. But the first book you should read is The Alchemist.
Got it. Got it. So
you guys can let Linda know. Either I could get hard copies for you guys, or I could get you guys Audible, or let me know.
So this one I'm asking for myself. So how do you manage everything, right? Like being this boss, being a wife, being a mom, a daughter, a sister. Like how do you manage it all and still look beautiful every time we see you, Adina? Like how do you get to do this? Teach us, give us all the secrets.
Well, you know what? I believe that any woman that is going to be successful in doing anything, you need to find you a man that's a feminist. You need to find you a man that believes in helping you out. If you don't have a man that thinks that he's supposed to come home, his dinner ready, and you're supposed to take care of the kids and then have a job, that is just, you're just going to look stressed out every time we see you. Find yourself a man that is a feminist, someone that believes in equal rights for both men and women. I gotta tell you guys, I find someone that I believe gave me that is a feminist. Like today, one of our kids were out of school. It wasn't even a question. He was like, he's gonna be with me all day. Okay, thank you. Those are the little things that get you to a space where you have space and room to think. So the advice I would say here is, sisters, find a man that believes in you, that is not keeping sports, that's not thinking about, oh, you trying to be all successful, now you're gonna leave me behind. You don't need that. You just don't.
The ladies are loving that one. Our councilwoman is like, yes, sis. Okay, real talk. The chat is like blowing up on that one, Adina. They loved it. Any parting words you want to give to this group before we go?
I think that we have got to show more love to each other. I firmly believe that the world really beat on us. Like Black women, and I meant it. If you look at our history in America, we are so unprotected. We are so vulnerable to just people preying on us. We're not respected enough. So how I'm going to change that is I'm going to force us to love each other more. I want us to be more loving to each other. I want us to uplift each other. I want us to be a helping hand. And when you see another sister that you can help. And I don't give a damn if you go down, whatever. Help one another. And coming together is how we're going to win this race.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a quick drop some jewels on us. We love it. Love to hear from a Newark native, a real Newark girl. So I really appreciate you for getting on for us. That's a great transition into our next panel. I'm going to bring on Councilwoman LaMonica McIver, if she could turn her camera on. Kalina Berryman, and all of the young ladies from our different organizations that are going to be a part of this next panel. We've had a great morning, so great afternoon so far, right? I'm sad that this wasn't a full day, but these last two panels, oh my goodness. And then starting the day off with prayer and meditation with Jennifer and First Lady Williams, I just feel full. This has been really, really excellent. So I know our young ladies are gonna bring it home for us. And so I'm gonna turn it over to Councilwoman LaMonica McIver. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, First Lady Baraka. I have to agree. That last gem, I had to drop it in the chat. Find me a man who is a feminist, okay? Thank you so much for that, Adina. You know, First Lady know me so well. She know I love, that was my favorite comment of everything that I would say. Being a woman in leadership, it is definitely one appreciated. So we're moving on. We've had a great day. I'm sad this has to end as well, but we're happy to keep pushing. We have our Who's Your Click next session, and I get the opportunity to introduce some amazing, lovely people. So the first person I'm going to introduce is the moderator for this next panel. She might be new to some of you, but definitely we know her well here in the great city of Newark, and I'm so happy that I get the pleasure to introduce her. I'm introducing the one and only Miss Kalina Berryman, who we love here in the city of Newark. Miss Kalina Berryman is a social justice advocate, community organizer, author, mentor, and program director committed to the empowerment of children, parents, women, and people of color. With a commitment to leadership development, she has empowered Newark youth and parents to raise their voices and work collaboratively to create change within their schools, neighborhoods, and community. Born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, yep, that's right. A graduate with honors from Arts High School in 2000 as the television communications major. Yep, Arts High School, woohoo, shout out to Arts High School. After being awarded a presidential scholarship to William Patterson University, Kalina earned a bachelor's a bachelor's degree in communication in 2004 with a minor in African American and Caribbean degree in Caribbean studies, In January 2011, she earned a master's degree in public administration from Rutgers University, of course, here in Newark. Currently, Kalina is the director for the Abbott Leadership Institute, better known as ALI to us, at Rutgers University, Newark. ALI's mission is to teach education, advocacy, and family engagement skills to parents, educators, and community leaders and students in the city of Newark. ALI's Youth Media Symposium, YMS, develops youth leaders by inspiring high school students to use the power of their voices and the media to advocate for better schools. In 2013, Kalina founded Newark Circle of Sisters, NCOS, an organization of women in the city of Newark who provide service scholarships to Newark women at all stages in their advanced education pursuits. The NCOS board hosts well-attended events and meetings throughout the year in the spirit of sisterhood, support, celebration, service, and scholarship. I can attest to that. I've been to one or two. Kalina's most important job, however, is that of mother to Jared Jr., born 16 weeks premature in 2012. Inspired by his early birth, 5-month NICU stay, and cerebral palsy diagnosis, Kalina is committed to spreading the importance of prematurity awareness. In 2016, Kalina founded the Preemie Parents Club, Inc., which provides support services to mothers and fathers whose babies are currently in the neonatal intensive care unit in Newark, New Jersey, in her hometown. So let's give a virtual clap and welcome to the one and only Miss Kalina Berryman.
Hello. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Councilwoman McIver. I have been so honored to be here today. It is rare that you get to be in spaces with so many women that you admire, like girl crushes. These are my girl clique in my head, were a lot of the people who were talking today. And so I'm very grateful that First Lady Linda Baraka and the powerful women of Newark put this conversation together. So I'm looking forward to talking to our assembled group of women, young women, about the power of cliques. And when I thought about this panel, a song came to mind, Councilwoman McIver. They might be a little young, but we know what it is. What about your friends? Do they stand their ground? Do they let you down? Hey, you know? That is a song that came to mind because, especially for me, I have a clique and they're called the Golden Girls. That's what we call ourselves, my Golden Girls. We've been friends since freshman year of Arts High, and we are approaching 40 now. And we have weathered so many storms together. And then as my best friend, who I call my soulmate, Danielle, I've had the same girl clique my whole life almost. And I've added women to my circles. I have different cliques, but that Golden Girl clique I formed around the age that a lot of our wonderful panelists are today. So I'm going to introduce them to all of you. I'm so glad to be among them. But first, I want to take a moment to recognize the organizations that made today's event possible, this particular panel. So giving a love and shout out to Angels of Evolution Charm School, founder and CEO Shakira McKnight. I love that model thing you got going on right now. If I was younger, I would be all up in that, okay? So beautiful job, Shakira, on what you're doing with Angels of Evolution. Girls Live, Love, Laugh, Inc., founder and CEO Allison James Friesen. Let's give her some love. Girls Live, Love, Laugh is a phenomenal organization in our city doing tremendous work. My goddaughter was a part of it, and so many young women that I've come to know have been a part of it. She Wins, Inc., by the phenomenal Adorian Murray Thomas, founder and CEO. She Wins has been winning for girls across this city and really across the nation, just setting a standard of excellence. So we're so proud of Adorian Murray Thomas, who is also on our Newark Board of Education. And then there's Newark Gals. Let's give it up for Newark Gals, founded by the wonderful Councilwoman LaMonica McIver, doing tremendous work. We are a city full of organizations that are dedicated to the empowerment of young women. And so let's just take a moment to recognize Newark for that. Let's just give Newark some love and a round of applause for being ahead of the game. All right. So now I want to introduce our panelists to you all. So first we have, representing Girls Live, Love, Laugh, Inc., we have Rashana James Friesen. Where are you, Rashana? Wave to the people. Wonderful. She is a rising freshman going to University High School, a debater and a cheerleader, and also a part of my organization, the Youth Media Symposium. So excited to have you, Rashana. Next, representing Girls Live, Love, Laugh, we have Dominique Bateman. Where are you, Dominique? Where's Dominique? Hey, Dominique. Hey. She is here. She is a rising freshman at North Star Lincoln Park campus, a spoken word artist and a poet. She has bars, y'all. Thank you for being with us, Dominique. Next up, representing Girls Live, Love, Laugh, we have Destiny Perez. Where's Destiny? Destiny, let's see.
Hi, Kalina. She's having trouble with her mic and her camera, so we're working it out.
All right, so I'll hold it right here and I'll look out for her when she comes on. Then we have, representing She Wins, Thalasia Hamiel. It's Hey, Thalasia, hello. Welcome. Thank you for being with us. She's a freshman at King University, majoring in communications and film. You go, girl. Thanks for being with us today. Next, representing She Wins, we have Sophia Enema. Hey, Sophia. Welcome. Sophia is a student at Bard High School Early College, and I'm sure she's interested in a lot of other things. I don't have it on my note card, but you'll tell us more about it when it's time for you to go. And then representing Angels of Evolution and North Gals, we have Jennifer Fana. Where's Jennifer? Hey, Jennifer. Hello. Jennifer is a digital influencer, all right? Recognized, and she'll tell us more about her work, I'm sure, as we speak. And then last but definitely not least, Anari Osman. Where are you, Anari? I see you. Hey. Anari is also representing Angels of Evolution and North Gals, and she is an entrepreneur, all right? Like Miss Adina before, she is about that business. So young ladies, let's just start it off with just some love to ourselves and some hand claps to each other as we get this conversation started. All right, so cliques, okay? We're talking about friendship circles. We're talking about cliques. I have my golden girls who've been friends for over 20 years. There have been some highs and some lows. So I want to hear from each of you on this, and I'm just going to call your name. And if you want to say something to the audience, feel free to do that. But I want you to tell us, how do you define a clique? What does it mean? What does that sister circle mean for you? So I'm going to start off with Anari.
Hi, everyone. First, my last name is Orman. So my name is Anari Orman. I went to University High School, and then I graduated from Howard University in 2018. I heard someone else in here is on their way to universities. Hey. And so how I define a clique, I don't really define it as a circle, but I'll get into that deeper with the other questions. But I think my clique specifically means, one thing that it means is women that I'm comfortable with being associated with, women that I want to be associated with, women that are doing the same things that I'm doing, basically. People that I know that they represent me, no matter where, if you're talking to them about me, I know that they're going to always have my back, or if I need them for something, I know that they're always going to have my back for that as well. And whenever you see them, it's kind of you see me kind of thing. So
I love that. When you see them, you see me. I love that, Anari. Jennifer, where's Jennifer? How would you define, tell us anything else you want us to know, but also how would you define your clique?
Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to say, first and foremost, I am an Afro-Latinx Latina digital influencer. And a clique for me is a selected group of individuals that I'm able to feel safe with during my highs and during my low. And I want to emphasize safe because throughout the years, I had to change my definition of a clique, right? I would share my highs and then it will become my lows. And then my lows become the celebration, right? And so it's important that my selected group of individuals are those women that I'm able to feel safe with during my highs and my lows. And that's how I
love that. I love that. I knew this was going to be deep. All right. Thank you, Jennifer, celebrating the highs and the lows. Sophia, Where are you? How would you define? Oh, and Destiny is here. Good to see you, Destiny. Sophia, how would you define the clique?
All right. Hey, my name is Sophia. I go to bar like Miss Kalina mentioned, but a clique to me, like I want to define mine in words. A clique to me is loyalty, it's trust, it's a bond, and it's fallouts. Basically, a clique to me is a group of people. It could be one person, it could be two, it could be more than that. But a clique to me is basically some people, a group of people that you feel comfortable around, of people you could trust, people that have your back no matter where you are. Like she mentioned, no matter where you are, they will always have your back, regardless what. A clique to me is also like fallouts, but y'all know, like y'all would be mature enough to come to each other and talk about it without being weird or saying this or doing that like other people. Feel me? But like a clique to me is people that fall out, and it's always going to be fallouts. But a clique to me is like loyalty. It's like a big sisterhood, and y'all just know where y'all stand.
Absolutely. I love that part about being weird, because I am 40 and we're still dealing with that. Okay. Like, just tell me what's up. Okay. Don't be weird. Just spill the beans, because we got to trust each other like that. I love that. Sophia. Thalasia, what's a clique to you?
A clique to me, hi guys, my name is Thalasia. She said I go to university. A clique to me is a group of people, and like she said, it may just be one, but a group of people who represent you. So when you're not around, they know like, okay, these are the females or males that she hang out with, because sometimes we can mistake a clique for a group of people the same sex. That's not always true. Because my clique, I don't just hang out with just females, but we all have the same common goal. And we also want to hang around people who have the same common goal. So my clique, we all are doing something. There's no one that's being stagnant, and we're all up for correction. And that's another thing. When you are correcting someone, if they are your clique or close friends, they should be okay with the correction and take it. And sometimes that correction may not even be the right correction, but just listening. So yes, my definition of a clique is a group of people who represent you as well as are loyal to you and can take correction from you.
I love it, because if your people can't correct you, who can, right? Like your people have to be able to correct you. They have to be able to love on you, but they also have to be able to tell you the truth. And so, I love that. Thalasia. Did I say it right this time? Okay, good. I'm gonna make sure I get it right. All right, where's Dominique? Dominique, I want you to weigh in on this question. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
I had to change my definition of a clique, because when I thought of a clique, they're like a circle of mean girls. But a clique to me now is just like a big ball of positive vibes. Someone who could hold me accountable. Like if they see me slipping up, I want them to say, oh, well, you've been making honor roll this corner, but I see that you haven't been on your A game. So maybe you need to take a break from social media. Maybe you need to maybe you don't need to play video games right now. Maybe you need to focus on your work. And I also think of a clique as respect and trust, because you can't really have a clique of people, of girls that you trust, without them respecting you and respecting your boundaries.
TED Talk, okay? You did that phenomenally well. Yes, boundaries, respect, all of that, holding you accountable. Like accountability hurts, right? It's like, oh, don't come for me unless I send for you. But that's what friends are supposed to be able to do. That was wonderful, Dominique. All right, Rashana. What do you have to say?
Hello. My name is Rashana. I also go to university. I would define a clique as a group of girls or girls and boys that are comfortable and confident with each other, whereas they can speak to each other about things and it feels safe. And as many others, it's about trust and loyalty and respect. So yes, that's what I would define a clique as.
Comfortable. Like I need to be myself. I need to be able to be all of me, my weird me, my happy me, my sad me, every part of me. I need to be able to be safely. Excellent, Rashana. And let's see, Destiny. Where's Destiny? Yes, Destiny's with us. Let me introduce you, Destiny. Destiny is a member of Girls Live, Love, Laugh, Inc. She's a rising 11th grader at Mother of Seton Regional High School. Welcome, Destiny. Thank you for joining us. So you let us know, what is a clique to you?
I think a clique is a person or a group of people who you could like confide in, and they respect your individuality and like respect all your differences no matter what. And if you guys do get into a fight, you guys know that you'll be there for each other no matter what.
Absolutely.
Somewhere you could be safe with, like even if you are in a huge fight. So yeah, that's a clique for me.
Mm-hmm. Even when there's a bad day, right? They're still your friends. They're still there for you. I love that, Destiny. Thank you. Did I miss anyone? I just want to make sure because I wanted to hear from everyone on that question. So if I missed you, let me know. But before I move on, I want to hear from Councilwoman McIver. Councilwoman McIver, what is a clique to you? Because I know you have a bad clique and y'all out here doing things. So come on, give it to us.
So I mean, honestly, just like you said, Kalina, I have, spent the years adjusting cliques, redefining what cliques mean to me. I mean, I think all the ladies, which I'm impressed with some of the responses. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm with you. Like, how old are you? Just in terms of, thinking about what kind of friend can be lifelong for you, like what kind of friend is going to follow you through all of those chapters in your life. Is it going to be the same friend from 7th grade in high school and college? And quite frankly, it's not going to be through experience. They change often, but definitely just, I like what Jennifer said, which really hit home for me, even currently right now, is just having people around you in your clique that you feel safe with through the bad days and the good days, right? So definitely that's how I define a clique is, those that are going to stick to you through every journey, through every chapter, through everything that we have going on in life.
Yeah. And I want to add to it without judgment. Like the world is going to judge us, but, correct me, hold me accountable, but just continue to love me and don't judge me. Be a safe space that I can confide in. All right, so we have a lot of questions and we're really going to get into it. But the first question, we're going to keep it a little light and then we're going to start to dig a little deeper. So the first question, and I'll open it up to anyone who would like to respond, is give your reaction to this quote. Be wary of the company you keep, for they are a reflection of who you are and who you want to be. And so do you have a clique? Because we're going to get personal. Do you have a crew? And how do they add to your health, your wellness, and your vision for who you want to be? So tell us about your friendship circles and how they add. Who would like to talk first? Talasia, yes.
So you guys don't know me personally, but people who know me personally can attest that before, I'll say my 11th grade year, I was a little wild and the people I hung around was right along with me. And it took me to meet one person, his name is Marquise. It took me to meet one person to alter how I look at life. So the clique I was with before, they definitely were a representation of me, and I was definitely a representation of them. We all did the same thing. We all moved the same way. But as I began to get older and I began to change some of the lifestyle choices I was making and some of the decisions I was making, I started to see like, okay, maybe I'm now around these people who are moving differently, who are doing something positive, who are doing something rather than being around people and just gossiping. People used to come to them like, oh, you hang out with this girl, you don't know she wild. And that's how they used to talk about me because I was really just a loose cannon. But as I began to move into my posture that I am now, I had to learn like, okay, if you're gonna hang around these people, you gotta act like these people. That's why I was saying like, regardless of if I'm around these people, they're gonna say, oh, that's Talasia's friend, or those are the people Talasia's around. So if Talasia's around people who are acting crazy, they're going to associate you with that, regardless of if you're acting like them or not. So I had to learn that I am the company I keep, and I definitely am a reflection of who I'm around. So I try to surround myself with positivity and people who are, like I said, moving the same way I'm moving. If you over here acting crazy and I'm over here trying to be holy, they're going to get confused because it's like, how are you trying to be and do this when you're around people who are doing nothing? Because eventually you are going to turn into what you're around. So I try to keep good company, positive vibes, and people with the same mindset.
I love that, Talasia. And so there's actually another mic that probably should mute. It might be your second one, Rashada. I'm not sure if it's muted, your second mic. Okay, perfect. All right. That was on the money. And that connects a lot with thinking about, you know, when I'm not around, if you're a representative of me and I'm a representative of you, then people start to make assumptions about us based upon our friends. And those assumptions might be true at the time, but we are allowed to grow and evolve. And when we do, we got to also grow and evolve the circles that we're in. So awesome. Anybody else would like to ask that, Sophia?
Okay, to add on to that, like I wanted to say that, like she said, I had 2 cliques in my life because I just started growing up, started making friends. Like I was a shy girl before, but now I'm bold, and Dorian knows that. But when I was in middle school, 8th grade year, 7th grade year, I'm not gonna lie, I was in a lot of drama because I feel as though, like, now that I've realized it, the clique I had before, a clique is not somebody that encourages you to fight. A clique is not somebody that says, oh yeah, do this. No one is wrong, but like they just encourage you to do that. That's wrong. That's not right. But now the clique that I have, like you said, my clique is a reflection of me. And I love to be a reflection of them because they taught me how to be calm. They taught me how to stay calm. They told me how to stop feeding into what people want and stop feeding into what people are trying to get me to get mad at. Feel me? But basically, I feel like a clique is somebody that knows they love you and should remember that on the bad days. Like when y'all fall out, it shouldn't be, like I said, weird. It shouldn't be weird. It shouldn't be, like, they shouldn't start anything for unnecessary reasons. But yeah, I feel like a clique is somebody that she remembers they love you on the bad days and somebody that doesn't encourage you to do bad things. No one is bad. And the clique I surround myself around now, I love them because they're very calm and they make me calm. Even though I was a loudmouth, now I'm just easy.
I appreciate that you all are so thoughtful about your path, that you're reconsidering like who you should surround. Like this is a conversation I think a lot of women need to hear. Women in general, young women, you guys are really, really dropping some jewels. Adorian, type that in the chat. She said, remember that you love me on the bad days. That was a gem. Yes, Jennifer was feeling that one too. That was a gem. Anybody else? One more person would like to add to that. Anari, you said first name is Anari, right?
Anari, yeah.
Okay, Anari and then Jennifer.
I just wanted to briefly add, like, it took me, I'm only 24. I know a lot of you are younger than me, but I'm 24. And it took me, like, getting to, I'm not going to say that I'm all the way where I need to be, like, at all. But I'm, like, on the path to, like, really fulfilling my purpose and, like, finding out that, like, everything that I'm doing, like, every single day is getting me to where, like, God wants me to be. I'm sorry if we're not bringing religion into this. But I think that it took me to like really sit down and like picture like my greater self. Like what would the best version of myself look like? Like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, like what is it exactly that I want to do? Like how does it look like when I wake up from the beginning of my day to the end of the day? Who was there like throughout that day? Like who is the people that I called throughout the day or like that helped me do what I had to do? Like I have I have 2 business partners actually, and like I think about them when I think about those 10 years from now and stuff like that. So I know that like those are people that I need around me right now. Or I think about like one of you were saying like those people that encourage you to fight and stuff like that. Like you don't want to be fighting at 35 years old and fighting like that's not where you want. I know that you being in this panel right now, that's not where you want to be. So like people who are doing those kind of things might not be able to come with you everywhere that you're like going in life. Like so that's a good way to like be able to filter out like who's your clique, like those people who are when you're your best self, who's with you? When you're getting into trouble, who's with you? Like just kind of shed that and watch like how you elevate to the next level. And like it's really important to keep those kind of people around you.
Anari, that was a jewel. Think about your day and who you need to talk to throughout the day to get to where you want to go. That's beautiful. Thank you. Jennifer. Everybody can't go, Councilwoman McIver said. Everybody can't go, okay? Jennifer, yes.
So when I heard the quote, I immediately thought of the quote that my grandmother used to say, and I'm gonna say it in Spanish and I'll translate it in English. And it is, dime con quién tú andas y te diré quién eres, which means tell me who you're with and I'll tell you who you are. So for a long time, I always battled because I have a personality that I get along with most people. So up until I'm like Anari, I'm a little bit on the older side, but I have a very youthful personality. I was in the wrong clique. right? And when I say the wrong clique, it was a little bit, more on the party side and always wanting to go out and always wanted to spend money on the trendy clothes and the Louis V, but without really having substance. And so as I got older, I started to take a step back and assess, okay, who do I want to be, right? Besides, after getting my high school diploma and my bachelor's, and I have a master's, who do I want to be and how do I find that? And I realized that the people I was around were not contributing to who I wanted to be. And by the grace of God, I met Shakira. And Shakira had this wonderful organization. And she was just pouring onto me and saying, you can do this and push yourself. And so now I'm at this panel. So I say, it's very important for you to assess and to realize that, are they contributing to your well-being? Are they contributing to the positive person that you want to become? And if the answer is no, they have to go by all means necessary. They have to go. Peace out. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself. Because like Sophia said, if your clique is trying to get into a fight and a party, we're too old for that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to jail. My record is clean. I'm trying to go to entrepreneurship parties. Are we having those type of parties? Are we putting our monies together so one of us could launch a business? And that's what AOE brought to me. So be very aware of your company. And if you got to pivot, do it at the right time before it's too late.
Shout out to Shakira. She is a pourer. She's one of my favorite people in the city. Love what she's doing. Absolutely. If the answer is no, they got to go. Okay. That was wonderful. Is there anybody else before we go on to the next question? I want to make sure if you want to speak, just raise your hand because it's the square so I can see you. All right. All right. So next question, and I'm going to start this question off. I want to hear from Dominique and I want to hear from Rashana on this one. So many talk about the value of having different types of friend groups. Example, like your studying friends, you're hanging out after school friends, or your working friends. And for me, it's kind of like my childhood friends, my business friends, my education, North crew, I have my different buckets. So I want to know, does this describe you and your friends? Do you have different buckets of friendship? And what would you say is the value of that? Is there a value in having your different sets? And I have an opinion about that, but I'll save my opinion for the end. So I want to start with Dominique, and then I want to hear from Rashana, and then we'll open it up.
So I don't really have, my circle is kind of small because I'm not that social. Like I like to more stay myself right in my notebook, but I'm learning to open up because I'm going to high school and I'm going to meet so many different people. So I think it's really important to have different type of friends, like a variety of friends, because you don't want to surround yourself around the same type of people all the time. You want people who are going to introduce you to different hobbies and figure out something that you like, unlock potential you never knew that you had. Because I didn't really know that I had a passion for writing until one of my friends encouraged me to come to this writing class, and I discovered that I could really write down my feelings and how I'm feeling about the world and put it onto paper and do something positive with it. Because I'm very opinionated. So I have writing friends, social justice friends, and then friends I just play games with. So I think it's really important to have different boundaries with your friends. Respecting boundaries is important, making sure that nobody is overstepping their boundaries, and make sure nobody is overstepping their boundaries.
Idea of having different expectations, that was what I was going to add. It's like, I can't get all my needs from one group of people. I have other needs. And if that group is not fulfilling those needs, sometimes you start to develop animosity. Like, why you don't want to come with me to the business brunch? What's wrong with you? Don't be judgmental. That's not the person for that. You need to find you a business brunch group that will do that. And then maybe when they're ready, they'll come along. So I love that you said I have my social justice friends, my writing friends, Very awesome. Rashana, what's up? Do you have different cliques?
No, I have one clique that's also very small because I too am very shy. I'm not the very talkative type. A lot of people may know that. So I do and don't think, well, yes, I do think we should have different type of cliques because we have different type of personalities. So if you're like business or school, you can hang with the business at school. If you want to like dance, cheer, athletic type, yeah, that's that. So yes, I do think we should have different types of cliques. We have different types of personalities, and we should have different types of people to represent that in yourself as a person.
Because we are multidimensional, right? Like we are different types of people. We have a lot of differences in us. Some days, I'm fun, and some days I need to be more quiet and reserved. But I think, Rashana, also, your age, when I was your age, I only had one crew at that time. As I got older, and like Dominique said, I was exposed to different things and in different lanes. That's when those other cliques began to form. So over time, you might find yourself having these different groups of friends as well. So yeah, anybody else want to add to that conversation? Just raise your hand. We'd love to hear from you. Anybody want to add to that? Oh, Tylasia, yes.
Personally, me, I have a lot of different group of friends, and I don't mix them, but I do ministry. So I have my church friends, and then I have She Wins, which is a group of girls that I'm around. We mentor each other because I feel like both a mentee and a mentor is always mentorship on both sides. Then I have my choir because I do sing and I travel. And then I actually have the people in the church. I have different people that I talk to and different people that I just want to mix. So balancing it as well, I feel like it's definitely good because my church friends unlock so much potential that I didn't even know I had in me. And then I have my friends that like to go out. They've introduced me to so many different new things, foods. So it's all about just like, and you, like you said, you shouldn't expect everything from one group of friends. Like it's not going to always be there. So your needs, they may cater to one of your needs while the other group may cater to something else. So as for She Wins, the girls really helped me grow. And I had to grow up. I feel like I'm a teacher now. Like I can teach anybody. I'm a therapist. And as for like church friends, they help me see life in just a different light. Like now I know like certain things I'm just not okay with doing. And that's completely fine. And then I have my friends who like to go out and who like to party. Yes, I can be around them, but I also have boundaries. So that's where boundaries come in. Like they know I'm very into ministry. A lot of people know me from the church, so I can't be acting all crazy one place and then acting like I'm something else in that place. So I think it's a very good thing to have different groups of friends as they unlock so many different things within you. And like I said, your elevation is solely based on relationships. So the relationships you have, it can either bring you down or bring you up. And I always tell people to remember, in friendships, they should be feeding you while you're feeding them, and never feed anybody until you have excess, meaning overflow. You only feed people off of overflow. You never feed them off of things that so they won't drain you out. So don't feed people don't give people access until you have excess. So remember that.
Now I know Reverend Roundtree is somewhere stomping them hills because you preaching right now. Okay, that was a sermon in the making, Tylasia. Yeah. Okay,
thank you.
I love it. But I got a follow-up question for that. Okay, for those of you who have girl groups where you have or friendships, because y'all are very clear they can be male. I have some male best friends as well. For those of you that have these different kinds of friendships, do you ever find jealousy among those different friendship circles or negative feelings like, oh, you hanging with them today? Why you didn't invite me? And if so, like either how do you handle that or how do you keep that from happening? Sophia.
Okay. How do I keep the jealousy from happening? So in my clique, my main clique is 2 people, and they're both females. Not saying you can't have male friends because I hang around males more. Females are too much drama. But in my clique, it's 2 females, and I trust them so much. But like I have other little cliques too, and they don't ever get jealous like when I go talk to them, because to prevent the jealousy, you don't just talk to that one main clique and not talk to the other one for like, let's say weeks, and then go talk to them when you need something. That it don't work like that. You have to balance it out, because if they're your friends, treat them like they're your friends. You don't just be fake and go to them when you don't just be fake and go to them only when you need something. It just doesn't click like that. It's not fair. You can't just go to somebody when you need something. You could go to them when you want to talk to them too, check up on how they doing, like they do for you too. But yeah, that's how I prevent the jealousy, because in my clique, my main clique, they really never get jealous regardless, because like, why? But yeah, I balance it out by like not being fake to my other cliques. Like I check up on them time to time like they do for me too.
Thank you, Sophia. And that brings me to my next question. So we have been in this global pandemic, and that has caused us to restructure our friendships, our cliques, our circles. So I want to ask this question first to Destiny, and then anybody else can answer. How have you kept your cherished circles healthy and whole during friendships? How have you maintained your friendships during this pandemic? And where are your friendships now? Are you guys trying to get together? You know, what is the plan for this new version of the pandemic? So Destiny, how are your friendships doing in this pandemic?
They're doing pretty good, because actually in school I'm in person, and also we FaceTime a lot. So it's still strong, and it's never been gone, because once you have like true cliques and true friends, it doesn't mean that you could suddenly give them away.
I love that. Yes, I have never FaceTime in my whole life, actually, until this year. I never did FaceTime, but now I'm a FaceTime pro. So that's a very good point, Destiny. Jennifer, Anari, I'd love to hear from you guys. How have you all navigated friendships during this pandemic? Jennifer?
I just like everyone else, I had to be creative, right? So I started to utilize Zoom. I was utilizing FaceTime. I was utilizing WhatsApp, because I have family overseas and they have access to WhatsApp. And so I realized the importance of friendship and how important it was to my wellness and to keep me grounded. Yeah. So now we're stronger than ever. The pandemic allowed time for me to reconnect with family members that were part of my clique when I was younger. And because I experienced loss during the pandemic, it made me realize how important just relationships are. So now everybody's like trying to get on the calendar, and I'm telling them, you better get vaccinated and make sure you're good. And I'm just so eager and excited to reconnect with everyone in person. So they're in a good place right now.
My condolences on your loss. And really for everyone here, I typically start, especially now, anything that I do with just honoring just condolence. So I want to do that. If anybody has suffered any loss during this time, definitely my condolences are to you. And my love is sent to you as well. So thank you, Jennifer, for that reminder. Absolutely. Anari, how are you handling friendships in this pandemic?
So like I mentioned, I went out of being from Newark, I spent a lot of time in DC because I went to Howard. And then I spent a little bit of time in Atlanta after Howard, and now I'm back here. So you can see I kind of went through a lot of different walks like in life. So I kind of met a lot of different people that I've connected with amongst these different things. Like my mom, she's probably listening. Thanks to my mom for always keeping me involved in like extracurricular activities growing up and things like that. And I guess I'm just like a people person. So I just like really always keep in contact with people like on social media. I've always taken advantage of social media, since MySpace to Facebook to Vine, Snapchat, everything that we have now. Like I really, really appreciate social media because I'm always able to connect with people. And like I mentioned, with me being away for 4 years, I've had to learn how to like love my friends from afar. Like people that I was going to university with, I would be with them throughout the day, and then we'd go to cheerleading at night, and then like sometimes have sleepovers. So I'm with them like literally all day, every day. To me, graduating and moving 4 hours away to only being able to see them maybe once a month or 2 months at a time and things like that. I've always had to like hold on to my relationships from a distance. So I would say like the pandemic definitely kind of made me closer with people, because like a lot of other people are now realizing like that we can keep in contact even though we can't see each other. And like unfortunately, everyone, we've all lost like a lot of people, and you know how like that made you like get much closer. I hope that made you get much closer to your family. Like now my family, my mom and her siblings, there's 8 of them that are all like across the US now, and they sit on Zoom call on Wednesdays from 8 to 10. So like we all get to like check in. My pop, my grandfather never had an iPad or anything like that, but like because of this, like he has iPad. So now I get to see my grandfather every single day. My daughter, she's 2. She only has met him maybe twice, but because of the Zoom call, like she knows Papa. Like, and this wouldn't have probably been able to ever happen if it weren't for the pandemic. So I think it definitely like made me closer to people.
I love that. And Anari and Jennifer, I didn't get, so now y'all are a part of a clique. Like right now we are clicking. And for me, a very important part of what I give to friendships is honoring and celebrating. And so I didn't get the opportunity to really fully introduce the 2 of you, but I want to do that. So Anari, can you please just tell us what high school you went to, the colleges you have graduated from, and what you are doing now? And I want Jennifer to do the same thing so we can celebrate you properly. Go ahead, Anari.
So like I mentioned, I'm 24 years old. My first job, the best job ever, is I'm a mom. My daughter, she's 2. She's downstairs. You guys might hear her occasionally, like luckily it's on mute. But I like I mentioned, I went to University High School. I graduated in 2014. I went on to Howard. I studied communications at Howard and graduated in 2018. I spent a lot of time at Howard, like during internships and things like that. That kind of led me away from my major. Like I didn't want to go like into a career in my major. And also that goes into like me not wanting to box myself into anything. Oh, there's so much that I can say about that. But I feel like I did use everything that I learned from Howard to like shape me into who I am now. Like, so.
And that's an entrepreneur, right? You have a business?
Yes. So I own and operate an online clothing store. And with my clothing store, it's not just online. I actually do pop-up shops every couple of months. I actually picked up a lot during the pandemic. And I also, well, my clothing store is mainly online, but I also own a vending machine business, 973 Vending. And that was something that I started in the pandemic. And now I'm taking some time to learn how I can teach other people how to do that. So if you ever wanted to like start a vending machine business and you want to connect, you could talk to me on the side or anything.
Awesome. And what's the name of your clothing line, Anari?
Avia Rose.
What is it?
Avia Rose. So I'll put it in the box at some point.
Yeah, we gotta look. We have people here with us. We want to make sure they know. And Jennifer, properly introduce yourself, and then we're gonna get back into our questions.
All right, y'all. Hopefully my internet does not go out because it's been acting a little shaky. So as Kalina introduced me, I am a digital content creator. So I am a vlogger. So I do videos on YouTube and on my Instagram. I am a blogger. So I have my own website, and there I just share my experiences as an Afro-Latina in the United States, because it might be different to other people. And I'm also a digital content creator. So a lot of the content that I create is for Instagram. Where did that come from? Let me take it back to my education. So I didn't graduate from a school in Newark, but I've been living in Newark for the last 10 years. I actually went to East Orange Campus High School in East Orange. And I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from Bloomfield College, and I have my master's from New York University. Violet Pride all the way. And so while I was in my master's program, I realized that social work should not just be confined to being a therapist or being an administrator or being a director. Social work is everything that we do. And if we can influence and share with someone a positive experience, why not do it through a different lens than just the confined lens that we learned? So during that time, the curly hair community started to bloom. And I started to see the gap in multi-texture women, right? And the discrimination against 3C and 4A. If you know textures, you know.
We know we've had lots of conversations in our girl groups about our hair, right? So that is one of those things. Okay. And so make sure you tell us the name, Jennifer, of your blog and your vlog. Tell us
Yes.
his name, because I want to get back into the questions, but I wanted to stop and just
Yes.
get the details.
Really quick, I'll give you. So my Instagram handle is She Is Jenny Contreras.
Okay.
My YouTube name is Learn with Jenny. And my blog is Your Favorite Fauna. And I will put
Awesome.
them on the chat so we can continue the panel. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
good. Look, put everything in the chat because we don't know who's watching and who wants to invest or who wants to tune in. So let's do that. All right. Now, next, back to the panel discussion at hand. This is a really good question. How do you handle disagreements or drama in your friendship circles? How do you handle that in a healthy way? Because disagreements are a part of friendships. So how do you handle them in a healthy way? And this is a time really to give some advice if you'd like to share. So would anybody like to speak first? Volunteer? Tylasia, yes.
When you first asked that question, what came to my mind is limited thinking. When you have limited thinking, sometimes your thoughts, you will only go as far as your thoughts will go. So if you have a disagreement and something happens where y'all just are at rock bottom and this is the lowest of the lowest, if you think like this is the end, and if you think like, oh, I can't do this with her, or I just can't no more, that's how far you'll go to repair the relationship. So we expect so much, but we have limited thinking. So when we are put in these situations, we have to kind of be open-minded, because sometimes we may disagree and we probably just like, I don't want to talk to this girl. Like, this girl just really made me upset. But if we stay with that limited thinking, we'll stay stagnated. And the argument that was so little will be dragged on for so long. So me and my friends, like something happened in the church. We didn't argue in the church, but when we left out the church, she came up to me and said, I personally feel like what you did was wrong, and I just made me feel uncomfortable. And I could have reacted with my limited thoughts like, well, why didn't you say nothing in there? Or why did you feel that way? It didn't happen to you. But I had to sit back and put myself in their position. So it's always about putting yourself in their position so that y'all can come to a common ground, because y'all may not even agree on what is going on. But as long as y'all can come to a common ground and a common understanding, those cliques or those friendships will be lifelong. So I always like to think long term when it comes to arguments. I know if I don't fix it right now, and he may ignore it, but it'll affect us going on from like a long time from then. So I try to nip it in the bud real quick. We get it, and then we back to normal.
I love that. That connects to something Sophia said earlier. Like, if something happens, tell me in the moment. Yeah. Like, trust me enough that you can tell me, that we can talk about it and we can move forward, because you're not going to get a fight from me about your feelings. That is one thing as a friend I'm not going to do. I might say that wasn't my intention, but I am not going to fight you on your feelings, and I'm absolutely going to do whatever I need to do to repair that. So don't act weird and address it in the moment. Is anybody else would like to add? Is there anybody else? Yes, Dominique. And then Jennifer.
So I used to, my problems, me and my friend used to go back and forth, and she used to run to like the internet and like post on her Instagram, me and Dominique had a falling out, and then she would just like air out all the stuff we said, and then I would do the same because I was only reacting to what she was doing. Then I learned that 2 wrongs don't make it right. So now when I have like a disagreement with my friend, we'll just like stop talking to each other for like a couple of days, give each other some space. Maybe I'll write it down or discuss with my sister, because like my sister and my cousin are basically like my best friends. So I'll talk to them, and then if I don't understand like why I did something wrong, or if I could have had a better approach, I would talk to them. And then I'll reach back out to my friend, ask her if she's calmed down, then we'll just maybe FaceTime, talk about it, and then we'll be right back to normal.
I needed to write that. Step 1, don't put it on Instagram. Step 2, take a moment to reflect. That was great. I hope somebody turn that into a poster. Jennifer, it's on you. Oh, she froze a little bit, but she'll be back. Would anybody else like to add in the meantime? Destiny, I saw your hand, and as soon as Jennifer comes back, we'll call on her. Go ahead, Destiny.
Especially if my friends are fighting, and since we're like really close to each other, I try not to pick a side and listen to both of their parts of the story. And then I try to convince them to talk to each other and not just nip it in the bud and not say anything to each other and just keep the group awkward. So I try to go to them individually, then as a group, because it affects us all, not just one person.
How are y'all? I'm like, I don't understand. How are y'all so smart about this? This is awesome. And all of us have found ourselves in the middle of some friend drama. And we try to stay neutral. And that don't always work for me, Destiny. I try. But there is a lot of value in that, like trying to get to that resolution. Because when y'all are beefing, we can't have the girls' night because y'all are not getting along, So thank you, Destiny. Jennifer's back. Jennifer, yes.
So the way we try in our group is to give each other time to honor our feelings. If we have disagreed at some point, we like to step away and we communicate, right? Like communication is just number one in our group. And we give each other time. And one of the things that I personally like to do is listen without judgment. So before I react and say, you hurt me and I didn't agree with you, I try to sit back like, okay, let me listen to what they have to say so I can be able to reflect on what happened. Maybe I misinterpreted a situation. Maybe I was in the wrong headspace and I took it the wrong way. So I like to practice listening without judgment. And then just, if the group is safe, really letting out how we all felt and how we can move forward. And definitely I will agree with Dominique. I used to be in those groups where you would see the shade and the sub comments, and they had to go because they would never be honest with me. When I would confront them and say, hey, I saw that, oh no, what are you talking about? It wasn't about, ma'am. Ma'am. I was the one wearing the yellow shirt. What are you talking about? So, this clique is more mature, more reflective, but I love everything that you ladies are saying. I practice those things too.
Yeah, I'm learning that whole listen without responding is very powerful when there's a disagreement. Like, hear what they have to say and just don't respond, because our original response is to defend ourselves against the attack or, who we are. So it's much more beneficial to just listen and not respond and just say, okay, you know what, let me take a moment to just internalize what you've said and I'm going to get back to you. And then when you hang up, say all you have to say. But, I recently had a falling out with a friend and that's what I wish I would have done. It's just, okay, thank you. Let me process this and get back to you. So I thought that was a gem. All right. Knowing what you know today, and this I'm going to give to Inari and then Rashana. Knowing what you know today about having healthy friendships and energy that add versus subtract from your life, what advice would you give to your younger self on choosing your friendships? And y'all kind of have already begun to give that advice, but Inari, what advice would you give your younger self, knowing about energy and pouring in versus taking when it comes to friendships?
I think that there were definitely times that I let friendships drain me, and I wish that I would have always known that you're supposed to just pour from, Tylasia said, you're supposed to just pour from your excess, and make sure that even if you are pouring at that time, make sure that friend is also pouring back into you, all that energy that you gave them. But also, like I mentioned earlier, I wish that there was times that I would have just stayed focused and just kept my head straight and just known that no matter what, God is gonna, the universe is gonna put those people around you that have to get you to where you have to be. As long as you're doing what you have to do, that's a big thing. As long as you're doing what I'll talk to the younger women here. As long as you're doing what you have to do to fulfill your purpose, the universe is going to put those other women in your path, or keep those women in your path who are going to take you to where you have to be. Shakira has known me since I was literally couldn't even talk probably. She used to live on my street. We literally grew up together. And we grew up in a neighborhood where there were plenty of other kids on our block riding bikes with us and stuff. But somehow God kept us connected. And Shakira, I just sent her, I had just processing what's happening right now. I had sent Shakira a text maybe 2 hours ago. I just really appreciate you. Like, I want you to know how much like you like really push me. Like me and Shakira sat down. We talk all the time, like literally all the time. But we sat down a few months ago at the Winter Village, and I don't know what it was in that conversation, Shakira, you don't even know. But like, she got me to like really just put my head back on straight, like to just get back focused. Like I just recently got my real estate license. I just finished, like I'm about to sign a lease for my apartment that Shakira literally pushed me to do. Like, I don't think that I would have even thought about getting my daughter and myself out of here, like at this point. But she really just reminded me, like, Anari, you can do like whatever it is that you want to do. Like, as long as you put your best foot forward, everything else will align. And it's crazy because ever since she said that, everything was literally aligning, like everything. And so back to, I'm sorry if I got a little bit off the question.
That was perfect. Perfect, Anari. Perfect.
Like the women around you, like that is so important to have like those people who are going to help you attract like the better things, and like to just keep that, like make sure that that energy is that positive energy. Like make sure that it's like there's people who are going to push you. Also, like in the last panel a few minutes, well, I guess like an hour ago, someone said like show up, don't shrink and conform to what others want you to do. Like make sure that it's those women who are pushing you to be who you are determined to be, like who you're destined to be. Like make sure that they're just giving you parts of them that will take you to where you have to be, and that you're also reciprocating that as well too. That's important. But another thing, sorry, I just picked up my paper and saw another quote, but another thing that another woman said was like that Black women are, if you want to learn the history of America, then look at the Black women. And I think one of my major influences was my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother was born in 1912. And she only passed away in 2016. So I spent a lot of time talking to her and learning and like just appreciating the fact that like I'm able to get up as a Black woman and do all of this stuff. Like she went to school, she had the brown paper bag test. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but like she literally had to put her skin next to the brown paper bag to decide could she be in class. Right. She had to ride in the back of a train. Like I have the freedom to do all of these things. Like there was only 2 generations before me that couldn't do this. Like I know that I have work to do. And like it's important to look for those other women who know that they have that work to do too. Like, and that one of my favorite quotes is God did not put us here to do this work alone. So like look at other women. Like don't be afraid to talk to other women. Like, can you help me? Like don't be afraid to talk to other women. Like, can you come with me to support me through this? Like ask those women around you, see who's coming there and showing up for you and doing those things for you. And that's your clip. Like,
and Anari, you brought up 2 very important things that I think we know they're in our clique, but let's take a moment to recognize our mothers, our aunties, our grandmothers, because those are the realest ones in your circle, okay? So I'm glad that you brought up mama, and I'm glad that you brought up grandmama, because that is the original, that's the clique God gave you, okay? And they are with you all the way. So thank you. Rashana, what do you know now? You know, you're older now, going into high school and everything. You're entering this new part of your life. What lesson about creating your friendship circles, what do you know now that you're going to take into your high school years?
I would say don't let the people you hang out with influence you, like in a negative way, or like whereas you change your personality or yourself as a person. Because my younger self, my old clique that I used to have, I let them influence me negatively so much because like I wanted to fit in, wanted to seem cool and stuff like that. So I would say don't let the people you hang out with affect you or influence you negatively. You gotta stay positive. Take the negative thinking or actions out and bring in the new and positive. So
I love that. Because real friends, you don't have to change for. They want you. You don't have to change for anybody. That's about you. All right. And so my last question, let's see. It's 4:00. Do we have time for a last question, or should we wrap it up? I guess we'll start wrapping it up now. So I'm not going to go to the last question. What I will do, though, is we'll have a final thought from each of our wonderful young women. First, let's give ourselves another round of applause to Sophia, to Jennifer, to Tylasia, to Dominique, to Anari, to Destiny, to Rashana. Also much love to Adorian and Allison and Shakira and LaMonica and all of those who provide these wonderful spaces, Joy Lindsay, Amanda Iboskia, Jennifer Made, everybody who has these really phenomenal spaces for young women in our city to come together. Thank you for all that you do. I am going to get to those. Thank you for the reminder about the safety tips. One final thought about the power of friendships and keeping us healthy. One sentence, Sophia, you go first.
Okay. My final thought is, like, as a friend, and if you have friends, whoever your friend is, you don't just see through your eyes, you see through their eyes too. So like when we was talking about the fallout situation, let's say you fall out with one of your friends in your clique, you got to see through their eyes too and see through the other person's eyes, even though you didn't fall out with them. You got to see through their perspective, because you can't be messing with that your one friend and then have your other friend in the corner like, oh my God, whose side do I pick? Oh my God, what do I do? So yeah, you have to see through both eyes of both your friends, or how many friends you have, and like work with that. And you have to be calm with your friends. You have to be straightforward and honest.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you, Sophia, for that gem. Y'all, let's give some love to Sophia for joining us today. Sophia, you were wonderful. Next up, Destiny. Give us a final thought, Destiny, around friendships.
That friendship, you should accept who you are before you accept anybody else. And when I mean that, I mean like before you love someone, you should love yourself, because you need to respect yourself as much as you want to respect your friends. And I think as hard as it might be, you need to go through those challenges in order to really achieve your goal in life. So yeah.
Okay, Destiny. Thank you. Let's give it up for Destiny. Yes. Gem dropped. Tylasia, let's hear from you. What's your final thought?
If anybody didn't take anything else away, I just want you guys to take away this. Do not give access until you have excess. No, none of your friends should be draining you. They should be pouring into you. There should never be a time where you do not have excess. So especially if you have cliques with more than one friend, you should be overflowing crazy. I mean, like you should have enough to feed a nation. So that's what you want to think. Do not give excess until you have access.
All right, let's give it up for Tylasia. Let me tell you, like, I have goosebumps listening to each and every one of you. So proud of you. Dominique, honey, give us your final thoughts.
My final thoughts on friendship is that ignorance is bliss. So you don't want to surround yourself around ignorant people. You want to surround yourself around people who have the same goals, morals, and like people who are pushing you for the greater good. You don't want to surround yourself around people who hang around all day, do nothing, talk about other people. You just want to be positive, because everybody can be talked about.
All right. Ignorance is bliss. Okay, Dominique. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Dominique. Thank you so much. Rashana. Final thoughts, Rashana.
Okay, so my final thoughts, it would be, number one, just know that friendships won't last. Get ready to like move forward without some people and tag along with new people. And another thing I would say is be very mindful of who you pick to be in your clique, because everybody won't influence you and make you or push you to do the right things and push you to go to college or make whatever achievements you want. So be very mindful of who you pick to and choose to be in your clique.
Love it. Drake said no new friends, but Rashana said, oh no, honey, new friends. Okay. Thank you, Rashana. We're so grateful to have you with us. Let's see. Nari, let's hear your final thoughts.
So just wrapping up like what I said last, just find those women who are going to be here to do the work that you're here to do. Like if your faith is Christian, then you understand that you have to do God's work here. So find those other women who are going to do that with you.
Period, Pooh. Thank you, Anari. We out here doing God's work. I love it. And I got my clique that I do my God's work with as well. So I understand that. They know who they are. And many of them are here and a part of this panel and these wonderful organizations that we have. And Jennifer, last but not least.
This is one of my favorite quotes that came from once I was in the right garden, and is go where you glow best. You have to be in a garden where you can glow and everybody else is glowing and nobody's worried about, oh, I can't glow because you're glowing. We just glowing together and we just bring in beauty to this world. And that's all I want to share.
Awesome. Glow where you grow where you glow. Thank you. I must say, I know I speak for everyone. I'm so proud to share the honor of being a Newark woman with all of you all. I'm blown away by your brilliance and your beauty and your talent and your excellence. You have a supporter in me forever. Just know that. You need anything, letter of recommendation, somebody to buy something, somebody to share, whatever you need, you got it from me. And I'm sure that everybody else here shares that. There are some safety tips that I'm supposed to end with, and I'll do that very quickly. Here are safety tips that were developed by Ivory and Shakira. Never walk alone, all right? Use busy streets. Always be aware of your surroundings. Share your location with your family. And we're doing this because we're about to get into summertime, Girl Click summer, okay? And we want y'all to be safe out there. So we wanted to share some tips. Share the location with your family. Limit distractions while walking. Take those earphones out of your ears. Oh, that's actually the next tip. And I did that one off the top. All right. Always keep your keys close. Do not display cash openly. If someone is in a vehicle and stops and asks for directions, keep your distance. When you get out of the car or reach a location, know what street you are on, what is the intersection, where you're parked, and be very aware of your surroundings. Or in short, keep your head up, keep your chin up, keep your eyes open, watch your back, and let your mama know where you're going, all right? That's it in short, all right? So we can have a safe summer. Thank you all for being a part of this panel. Thank you, First Lady Baraka, Councilwoman McIver, all of the wonderful women that made this possible, Reverend Roundtree, Allison James Friesen, just everybody. We appreciate you so much, all right?
I'll add something really quickly before y'all go.
Yes, and then who am I turning it over to next? Is it Ms. McIver? Okay.
I'm gonna turn it back over to First Lady. So yeah.
Okay. So Inari is last thought.
I'll be 2 seconds. While we're on the topic of safety, there was just a shooting on my block last night, and the owner of a Black-owned business on my block was killed. And I just wanted to add to safety and just having a safe summer. Also encourage the men in your life, like the young boys in your life, to stay positive as well. Like if there might be one person who can hear me right now, please, please, please encourage those men and young boys around you to do positive things, just like you all are doing too. Please, please, please.
That's a brilliant way to end it. Thank you, Inari.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for that, Inari. Let's give it up for the one and only, our moderator, Miss Kalina Berryman. Oh my God, yes. I don't think we could have done this without her. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. And I'm so inspired. I posted like all of y'all quotes, everything. If you on Instagram, look for me because I ain't have everybody's tag. You know, I'm a little older, so I don't have everybody's tag. But definitely check out Instagram because I was just posting away. I just want to thank each and every one of you ladies, and thank you so much, Ms. Berryman, and all of my girl partners, Dorian and Allison and everybody, Shakira, who made this possible. We was brainstorming, and Butterfly Dreams as well, who they're not on right now, but thank you to them as well. So I'm going to turn it back over to our fabulous, beautiful inside and outside First Lady Baraka. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, Councilwoman. You know, this was your vision, so I'm glad that you were able to host this particular panel. So I hope it lived up to all of your expectations. These young women, this conversation, oh my goodness, we just got so much from you guys. You guys were the younger people. We didn't know that we were going to be getting so much from you, but I hope that everyone enjoyed the entire day. So much learning. We split it up in cohorts, but actually everything that we heard today was for everybody, no matter what your age is, no matter where you are in life. We could have been hearing, learning from the younger women. The younger women would have been learning from the older women. So I want to thank everyone, all of our panelists, our moderators, Kalina Berryman, Aisha Glover, Jennifer Cole, First Lady Williams, Mickey Taylor, Micheline Davis, Lunick Boyd, Sherelle Arrington, Audrey Torres, and all of the young ladies that just participated in the last session as well. And then all of our partners who helped to make this event possible. I want to shout you guys out as well. We are heading on over, getting into our last session, which is our after party. We want to help you guys create like some summer refreshers, just some drinks for you, like your cookout, some things that you can add to your repertoire when you're doing lunch. There's some things that we all could use, no matter what age you are. And so we're gonna take a break for a few minutes and give our resident mixologist, Desiree, an opportunity to get herself together. And we'll be back in a few minutes. So stay on, oh, she's here, I see her. Can you guys see her? Desiree hooked us up last year, and so we're so excited to have her back. Hi, little one back there. You look so cute. So Desiree, I'm gonna turn it over to you and I'm listening.
Okay, thank you so much, First Lady Linda Baraka. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you for all of the women today who have been so inspirational. I've been so inspired today, and I'm just excited to be here. So a lot of you may know me. I'm an employee of the city, but I also have a blog, urbangirlmac.com. But last year, out of the pandemic, I birthed this side hustle. As a mom, we need plenty of side hustles. So I do, sell a little mixed drinks on the side here and there. So today we're going to make 2 summer refreshers. I'm going to have my helper, Nyla, my 12-year-old daughter, help out. Can you say hi, Nyla?
Hi, Nyla.
So the first drink we're going to make is going to be a Shirley Temple. I'm just going to adjust the camera some so you guys can look and see what we're doing. So we have our glasses here. Nyla's going to give us a little bit of ice. So I'm going to use my ginger ale, and Nyla's going to use her Sprite. And so you're going to put some ice in your glass. That's your first step.
I love that. I'm with Nyla. I'm a Sprite girl.
I'm going to put my ginger ale, pour it in. This is a really simple drink, a really simple summer refresher. You pour in your soda into your glass with your ice. And you add a touch of grenadine for some color, which is a simple syrup with just some color. And then we're gonna garnish it with our cherries, of course. Make it really pretty. You could add any fruit you would like, but it's a classic Shirley Temple. You put a little cherry in it. Put your cherry in. And all right, so this here, Shirley Temple. We're going to cheers on cheers. And if you're following along at home, please, take a sip. So that's our Shirley Temple. The next drink we're going to make is going to be a faux mosa, because we have the beautiful kids on, the beautiful young ladies on today. So non-alcoholic, of course. We're going to make a nice little faux mosa, which I'm sure one of my favorite drinks. I'm sure a lot of moms out there can agree. Brunch season. So we're going to use our sparkling cider. And of course, we have our orange juice here. I'm sure this is like a very simple drink. Orange juice, sparkling cider. Let's just adjust the camera down a little so you guys, ladies, can see and watch along.
Hey, Desiree, I'm not a fan of orange juice, so can I trade out the juice?
You can absolutely trade out the juice. You can use a strawberry punch. I love like a nice strawberry mimosa as well. You can do a strawberry juice. You can do a mango juice. Any flavor you like, you can just, mix in, trade in that, swap out that orange juice for any type of flavor you're looking for. So if you want a nice mango mimosa, you can do a mango juice. If you want a strawberry mimosa, you can do a strawberry flavored juice. Whatever you're looking for, you can do that. But today we're going to do a classic mimosa with orange juice. So we're going to do the sparkling cider. Fill up our glasses right here. There we go. There you go, Nyla. You can pour yours in. And we're going to pour in our orange juice. And of course, we got to make the glass look nice and pretty. We're going to add a little orange slice on the side. And we're going to add a little strawberry on the side.
Oh, cute.
A little strawberry. Let me just adjust the camera up so you ladies can see. You got it? Here's your orange. So this is like, I love a mimosa, y'all. I don't know about you, but I love me a nice little mimosa on a Sunday, Monday to any day of the week. I love a mimosa. So we're going to cheers to just, you know, beautiful
day.
Yes, beautiful day, amazing women, to the amazing panel we had today. I was super excited and super inspired. I'm gonna go definitely purchasing Nikki Taylor's book, because that book, I mean, what she said
that
today
book is awesome. And
yes.
she did herself on Audible. I loved it.
Yes.
And
I'm definitely
on there reading the poem. So let me know how you like it when you get it.
Yes, definitely will. So let's toast to a wonderful day with the wonderful ladies of Newark. And I had a great time. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm just, that's it.
Thank you everyone for logging
Thank
on.
you, First Lady.
Have a wonderful day.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys next year at Newark's Women's Day of Wellness.